Very good evening. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about what is dynamic memory allocation in C. So let me introduce myself. Myself Vijay Kumar. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Applications, SRM ST Ramapuram. So first we can see what is dynamic memory allocation. So before we just jump onto the topic, we should know what is an array. So array is nothing but it is a collection of elements that have a same type. Let's we can take an example of what is an array. See, for example, my size of an array is integer a of 5. So since a is an array name and 5 is your size of an array. Okay. So since array is nothing but once you declare the size, we can't able to change the size of an array. Since array is a static type of data. So once you fix the size of an element, we can, for example, integer a of 5, the size of an array is 5. We can able to store only maximum of 5 elements. So we can able to change the element during the runtime, program execution time. We can't able to change the size of an array. This is a traditional example of what is an array. So we can't able to extend the size. Since once we fix the size, we can able to store the element as much of size only. We can able to change the element of an array. And same thing, if you want to modify the size of an array during runtime using array, it is not possible. Okay, the if you want to extend the size of an array during runtime, the process is nothing but dynamic memory allocation. For example, so in this example, integer e of 5, it denotes only 5 elements. We can able to store maximum of 5 elements in the program. So if you want to add sixth element of an array, we can't able to add using array statement. Why? Because array is a static type of content. If you want to add your data, add your extend your size during runtime, for the concept is nothing but dynamic memory allocation. So this dynamic memory allocation is nothing but if you want to allocate memory dynamically, just note my point. If you want to allocate memory dynamically, for that we should use dynamic memory allocation. The same method, if you are going for a array concept, the definition of an array is nothing but it is a collection of array, a collection of elements having same type and having same type. You can't able to change the size of an array since it is a static type data. If you want to allocate your memory dynamically during runtime allocation, for that thing we should use dynamic memory allocation. So if you want to allocate memory dynamic in C concept, we should use malloc. See, we have malloc function and we have calloc function, realloc and freealloc. We have four library function for allocating memory dynamically. Just make this point dynamically. Dynamically is nothing but we can able to change the size of an array during using runtime concept. Okay, this is all about your dynamic memory allocation. If they are asking 2 mark what is dynamic allocation, you can simply write it as using dynamic memory allocation we can able to allocate memory dynamically with the help of malloc, calloc, realloc and freealloc. So these malloc, calloc, realloc, freealloc are the library functions which is available in C. If you want to include these library functions in your program, you should use the header file as stdlblib.h. This header file is nothing but standard library.h. All this malloc, calloc and realloc function, all these library functions are available in a header file called stdlib.h. This is all about what is dynamic memory allocation. Okay, the next thing, the main concept behind dynamic memory allocation is nothing but if you want to allocate memory at runtime, just make this point, it is nothing but runtime. If you want to allocate the memory using runtime, for that thing we should use dynamic memory allocation. If you want to achieve this dynamic memory allocation with the help of these four functions, see we have four functions here. We have malloc and we have calloc and we have realloc and we have freealloc. So these four library function is used to allocate memory dynamically. So this line is nothing but it is used to allocate memory dynamically. If you want to allocate memory in terms of static concept, we should use array as a static memory allocation. If you want to allocate memory dynamically using runtime, we should use malloc, calloc, re and free alloc. Okay, this is all about what is dynamic memory allocation. The next concept is nothing but we should know the difference between what is static memory allocation and what is dynamic memory allocation. Static memory allocation is nothing but if you want to allocate memory at compile time. See, if you want to allocate memory at compile time, it's the most important thing, compile time. Okay, compile time is nothing but if you want to allocate the memory while you are typing a program at your turbo C plus compiler, G in your compiler, at the point of compilation time, if you want to allocate the memory, it's nothing but static memory allocation. If you're going for dynamic memory allocation, if you want to allocate the memory at runtime concept. Okay, simple example for compile time, we have to use array as an example of static memory allocation. For dynamic memory allocation, we should use linked list concept. See, this linked list is nothing but it is used to allocate memory at dynamically. So this linked list comes under in your data structures concept. Okay, data structure is nothing but if you want to allocate the data in terms of different way of techniques, we can able to allocate the data. And this data structure is nothing but there is a separate concept which will be on next semester. This linked list is nothing but there is this linked list. We have two elements like this. We have a data from one box and this address from another box. We already know what is an address and what is data. We already know what is pointers. Pointers is nothing but pointer is a variable and it is used to hold address of another variable. The same thing, linked list is also hold both the data and address. In the first box, it will hold data and second box it will hold the address. Okay, it will be look like this. This is all about your linked list. This entire node, this node, they have two blocks. We have data and address, and this address is linked to the next node. This is all about a linked list. You can able to learn this linked list concept in the next semester. If you want to know what is linked list, what is runtime concept, if you want to allocate memory at compilation time, we should use array as static memory allocation. If you want to use memory allocation runtime concept, we should use linked list concept. Okay, and second method is we can't able to increase the size of a memory using while the program execution. In static memory allocation, we can't able to extend the size of a memory since it is a static allocation. Once the memory is allocated in static, we can't able to increase size of a memory in static memory allocation. Whereas in dynamic allocation, we can able to increase the size of an execution with the help of this dynamic allocation concept. This is all about what is static and what is dynamic allocation. Next thing we should know what is malloc and what is C, re and free alloc. See, this malloc is nothing but I have a simple definition. It allocates memory. Just make sure the point. This malloc, calloc and read. These three concepts is used to allocate memory. This malloc is also allocate memory, calloc is also allocate memory, and realloc is also allocate memory. What is the main role of malloc is nothing but it will allocate a memory in a single block of requested memory. Make sure the point it is single block. It will allocate a memory in a single block. Consider this. See, I have a memory. See, I have a memory slot. This is available here. This is all about your memory slot. Just consider this example as memory slot. I just start my address as 2000 is my first address and second address is 2001 and 2 and since it is so on to 2000 since it is so on 2050. Okay, this each and every box is nothing but it is a block. Okay, each and every box is a block. If you want to allocate a memory in a single block, you should use malloc concept. For example, I'm going to allocate memory from 2002 to 2006. Okay, for example, 2003 to 2004. I want to allocate memory from 2003 to 2004. It will allocate like this. If you allocate from 2002 to 4, it is nothing but a single block of memory. Okay, you can see in the practical example right now here. First, we should know what is malloc. As the name suggests, malloc is nothing but it is a memory allocation concept. Okay, this memory allocation it will serves a block of memory at a specified number of bytes. As I said before, This 2021, 22, 23, 24, these are all the bytes. If you want to specify the number of bytes, and it will allocate a block of memory. This is not about nothing about your malloc function in C. And the default return type for malloc function is void type. It will return zero type of value in malloc function. Syntax for malloc function is nothing but you should use pointer variable, okay, pointer variable and cast type. Okay, cast plays a major role in malloc concept. What is this cast is nothing whether you are declaring integer or float or character or double. What type of casting type if you want to declare, you should mention this casting type, and this casting type should be an integer casting. It should be a pointer casting. It can be an integer, it can be a float, it can be a double, and it can be a character. And you should use what type of allocation, whether you are using malloc or cloc or realloc. If you are using malloc, you should mention malloc and size of your allocation. Let's we can take an example of here. See, ptr is nothing but it is your pointer variable. Okay, equal to float star. This is your casting type, and my function is malloc 100 into size of float. So what is this 100 is nothing but number of elements. Okay, I'm going to use 100 elements into 100 elements into size of float. In C, size of float is 4. So it will return 400. Okay, it will reserve. See, the above statement allocates 400 bytes of memory. It will allocate 400 bytes of memory for a single block. Just make sure the point. It will allocate 400 bytes of memory in a single block. See, it is because size of float is 4 bytes and the pointer of holds the address of first byte in the allocated memory. For example, this 400 bytes, okay, this 400 bytes, it will allocated to a single block. This is all about your malloc concept. Okay, it will allocate a 400 bytes of memory for a single block of data. This is all about malloc function. Let's repeat once again. Malloc is nothing but it is an memory allocation concept. Using this malloc, we can allocate memory to a single block of memory. Just make sure the point it will allocate a single block of memory. Okay, and the basic syntax for malloc is we should use a pointer variable equivalent to cast type. Cast type is nothing but whether you are using integer type, character type, float type, or double type, and you should mention whether you are using what type of library function for allocation, whether you are using malloc or cloc. Since I am using malloc function, you should use malloc of size. Size, it should not be a negative, it should be a positive. Okay, if you want to allocate memory in C, your size should be in positive data, it should not be negative data. Okay, you should not use malloc of -5. If you return negative value, it can't able to allocate a memory for a dynamic concept. Okay, the example of this malloc function is ptr is equivalent to float star malloc of 100 into size of float. See, the casting type is float type. See, float type star, my allocation type is malloc 100 into size of float. 100 is nothing but number of element into 4 is nothing but your size of your data. So whether your size of float is 4 bytes, 100 into 4 is 400 bytes of memory. Okay, and if you not allocated any memory, it will return null pointer. That's it. It's all about what is malloc function. What is cloc? Cloc is nothing but it will allocate contiguous memory. So what is contiguous? Nothing but to allocate continuous memory, but it will be allocated in the terms of multiple blocks. See, if you allocate memory a single block, you can call it as malloc. If you want to allocate memory multiple block, we should call it as cloc function. Okay, this cloc is used to allocate memory in a contiguous space with multiple blocks of memory. The same thing, float ptr is equivalent to same thing. See, cast type is nothing but float, cloc n comma size. In previous example, it is n into size. Okay, it is n into size in for malloc function. For cloc, it is n comma size. N is nothing but 25. 25 is nothing but my size of an array, and size of float is 4. So what is the main difference between malloc and cloc? In mlock it will reserve it will reserve the bulk of memory in a single block of data, whereas in clog it will allocate a separate space for each and every element. See, it will allocate 25 elements. For each 25 element, the size of the 25 element is float type, whereas in mlog function, if you have 400 bytes, okay, this 400 bytes will be allocated in a single block, not in a multiple block. It is a single block, whereas in clog it will allocate memory as a multiple block. Multiple block means it will allocate 25 elements. Each element should be allocated in a separate space of memory. This is all about your clog function. And what is free? Free is nothing but it will deallocate the memory. If you already allocate the memory with the help of C and malloc and clog, if you want to free the space, if you want to clear the space of the memory, we should use free alloc function. Okay, we should use this free alloc function. And what is realloc? Realloc is nothing but if you have an insufficient number of memory. For example, if you are using malloc and clog, since the memory is not sufficient from your end, if you want to reallocate the memory, we should use it as realloc function. It will reallocate the space which is already assigned using malloc and clog function. See, this is an example of realloc, and this is your new pointer variable, and this is your existing pointer variable, and this is your malloc. If you already allocate memory using malloc or clog, we should mention the variable name like this: x as a variable name. If you want to reallocate the memory, and you should mention the variable name. ptr is nothing but it will reallocate the memory with the help of x data. X is already allocated with the help of malloc and clog convention. It's all about what is malloc, clog, re and free alloc. I repeat once again, malloc is nothing but it will allocate a memory in a single block of memory, whereas in clog it will allocate a memory in a multiple block of memory. Okay, whereas in reallog, if we have an insufficient number of memory, which is already created using malloc and clog, if you want to allocate a memory, if you want to reallocate the memory which is already created using malloc and clog, we can use reallocation memory, reallocation function. And free is nothing but it will use to clear the memory space which is already allocated using malloc and clog. This is all about what is malloc, clog, reallog, and free alloc function. We can have a quick example of what is malloc, clog, reallog, and free function. It's a very simple concept. See, just change this as this. You should use two header files here. One is your stdio.h standard library. This standard library is mainly used for this malloc function and this realloc function. Okay. See, what is my main goal is I'm going to use ni PTR and PTR1. Since I'm using this, we are allocating memory in dynamic concept. If you want to allocate memory dynamic, we should use pointer as a variable. Okay, and n is nothing but size of an element, and I is used to iterate the value. So, for example, if n is equal to 5, if you want to iterate each and every element, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, and n is equal to 5, we should use want to iterate each and every value, we should have a common variable called I, and this pointer is ptr and ptr1. This is your pointer variable. These two pointer variable we are going to use in our dynamic function, which is nothing but malloc and clog. And this sum, it is a local variable. This program we are not going to use any sum functions here. Okay, this is all about a local variable declaration. And the next line is printf enter the number of elements. For an example, if I am declaring my number of elements is 3, what is the value of n is here? N is equal to c. Why is because we are using scanf. Percentage d is nothing but integer type, decimal type, comma ampersand n. If your element is 3 and your n is equal to 3, and see this line, ptr is equal to integer star of malloc n into size of integer. It's very simple concept. This is your caching type. So since my element is an integer type, my casting type is also an integer type, and this malloc is nothing but the memory location n into size of integer. N is nothing but 3 into size of integer is 2. So it will allocate 6 bytes of memory. 6 bytes of memory in a single block. Why it is a single block? Since it is an malloc function. Make sure the point. See, n is nothing but 3. 3 into size of integer. Size of integer in C is 2 bytes. So 3 into 2 is 6 bytes. The 6 bytes will allocate in a single block of memory. Why it is single block? We are using malloc function to allocate the memory. Okay, on the next line, we are going to iterate the value. So it's a very simple concept. For I is equivalent to 1, n is equivalent to 3. It will iterate 0, 1 and 2. Okay, and it will add the value. For example, 0 plus 1, 1, and 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1 and 3. So the value of PTR of I is 1, 2 and 3. That's it. It's a very simple one. So we are going to iterate the value from each and every segment here. And the next thing is we are going to deallocate. We are going to free the memory space. It's already allocated using malloc function. It's a simple concept. It will deallocate the memory free space. And the next thing is PTR of integer star of realloc. So we should know what is malloc and realloc function. We can have a live demonstration right now here. Just 1 minute. This is the live demonstration. Let me show a simple example of what is malloc function right now here. So the same example, if I am executing this value, I just want to hide these two values here. So now I'm going to use malloc function. I just compile the program. Since there is a warning here, just ignore this error. It will ask enter the number of elements. See my size of one now my n is, if I enter 4, my n is equivalent to 4. So what is the value here? 1, 2, 3 and 4. See how it is working. You can able to see right now here. See, it's very simple. First step is it will move on to a void main function. So integer main function. The second line is it will move on to a variable declaration. N, I and PTR. And third line clear screen. And fourth line number of elements, printf statement and scanf statement. So once it will reach scanf, it will ask number of elements. For example, I'm going to use my number of element is 3. If you press enter, you move on to next line. This is your malloc function. PTR is equal to integer star of malloc n into size of integer. So my n is equal to 3. 3 into 2 is equal to 6. It will allocate 6 bytes of memory for a single block with the help of malloc function. Again F8. So since my n is equal to 3, it will allocate 3 times. See, 1, 2 and 3. So once it will complete 3, it will free up the memory space and again it will move on to next for loop. If you want to print the element, my n is equal to 3, it will print 3 times. 1, 2 and 3. So once it will reach the third element, it will move on to get ch, it will print the element. This is all about your malloc function. Okay. So if you want to use calloc function here, see calloc, the only major difference in calloc is it will allocate memory in multiple blocks of memory. If you are using star, it will allocate entire bytes of memory in single block. See, if I try to compile this program, it will show a warning error. See, in calloc it has too few parameters. See, calloc is nothing but it will allocate memory in multiple blocks. Since n is a separate block and size of int is separate block. See, once I compile this program, what will happen? See this. We press 10. Each and every element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This 10 element it will allocate as a separate block of memory. It will allocate multiple blocks. For 1 it has separate block. For 2 it has separate block. And 3 it has separate block. Each and every block it will reserve 2 bytes of memory. Each and every block, just make sure that point, each and every block it will reserve 2 blocks of memory. Whereas in malloc, it will allocate the memory for a single block. See, it will allocate this 4 elements 1, 2, 3, 4. all these four elements in a single block of memory. This is all about your M and CLOC function. And the next thing is you should know what is realloc function. See, realloc is a thing, but with if your memory is insufficient, if you want to reallocate the memory, it's very simple one. So the main syntax is if you want to change realloc, PTR is a thing but which is already created memory using malloc function. This variable name PTR should include like this 2 into n into size of integer. See, it is double the time. Okay, 2 into n, double the size of memory, double into n into size of integer. See, what will happen if I print my existing address and new address, the both the address should be same. See, once I compile this program, what will happen if I enter 5 elements? My previous address is 1898 and my new address is 1898. It will allocate a new address. The previous address is 1898 and the new address is 189. It will allocate the memory, reallocate the memory with the help of realloc function. Okay, and this is all about what is malloc, calloc, and re and free alloc. So if they are asking in 16-mark question, make sure that what is you should write what is dynamic memory allocation and what is static memory allocation. What is dynamic memory allocation? You should write what is malloc, calloc, re and free alloc, and we can write a simple program like this. It's a very simple concept. If they are asking DMA, see in most of the question paper they are asking it this like this. What is DMA in C? DMA stands for it is dynamic memory allocation. So if they're asking what is DMA, dynamic memory allocation, it is used to allocate memory at runtime. That's it. If you want to allocate memory at runtime, we should use library function such as malloc, calloc, and re and free alloc. Okay. This is all about what is dynamic memory allocation in C. Thank you, students.